You like it? It's my best Broncos defense imitation. Because I'm not showing up either. Oh boy. Oh boy. Broncos lose 70 to 20. It's been a day I still don't know how to put into words what an absolute joke that is. But I'm going to try. Oh, God, how do I even start this episode? On the screen is a screenshot of the Dolphins' third play of the game. Now, what you may notice about this defense is that it's zone. And what's really fascinating is that the team decided to triple cover wide receiver 2. That's a little circled in white. Now, who's circled in red, you might wonder? That's Tyreek flippin' Hill. Yeah, that went about how you thought. 69-yard touchdown to start this game. And then the rest of the game. Oh my God. An absolute embarrassment. The most points given up by an NFL team since 1966. So basically, the most points given up by an NFL team since the invention of the forward pass. Since the merger practically. Words cannot describe how humiliating of a loss this is for Broncos country. The defense was atrocious. I'm not even going to bother going through the play-by-play or the drive-by-drive because the Dolphins scored 10 touchdowns. 10 touchdowns. 10! They had 30 first downs, 726 yards of offense. Tua Tagovailoa at one point was 16 of 16. If you look on Broncos Twitter at any point in the last few days, Vance Joseph is the scapegoat. And I will say, Vance Joseph, I don't know how he still has a job this morning. That performance by the defense was atrocious. The effort wasn't there. The performance wasn't there. The execution wasn't there. Nothing was there. But I will say, these issues run deeper than Vance Joseph. And that's a bad thing. That's a really bad thing. Well, Hammer, this defense was top 5 last season. They should be better. Rex Ryan said this defense should be number 1. And he may be right. He may be right. But I have some bad news for Bronco fans. This decline did not start with Vance Joseph. This team has had issues defensively and offensively dating back to last season. Last season, in 2022, the Broncos led the league in missed tackles with 98. 98. They were 4th in penalties defensively. This is an incredibly undisciplined defense. It was an incredibly undisciplined defense coming into the season. And they have gotten worse. There was 24 missed tackles in this game alone. 24. Execution was non-existent. Non-existent. Patrick Surtain looked like crap. Yeah, there was no Justin Simmons, but it doesn't really matter. I don't care if you have I don't care who you have on your team. These are NFL players. You cannot allow 70 points. 70 points. And offense, I'm not done with you either. The offense, while it's been better this season, atrocious. 13 points. Russell Wilson is not the problem. He's not the problem. He played fine. But 13 points on offense is unacceptable. Unacceptable for the team. They had a kick return from the one bright spot. Kick return, touchdown, Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims looked good. Outside of that, awful. But I don't want to hear the slander about Vance Joseph. It's all on him. It's all on Vance Joseph. Vance Joseph, fired. Probably should be fired, but it's not just him. It's this team. It's the players. It's Sean Payton. It is everything about this organization that's an issue. And let's go look at where this issue started. It goes back all the way to the bye week of season 2022 when the Broncos traded Bradley Chubb. Before Bradley Chubb was traded, this defense allowed 17 points a game and had a total of 26 sacks over the course of 8 games, which was good for about a little shy of 3.25 sacks per game. Sounds good. Bradley Chubb's gone. He's traded to the Dolphins. There's wicked irony in that. Post Bradley Chubb getting traded, 9 games. The Broncos allowed 25 points per game. Only 12 sacks. That's a 1.3 sacks per game. It's not good enough. You look at this game, no sacks from the Broncos' defensive line. None. The middle of the line was non-existent. The outside was non-existent. Tackling was nowhere to be found. 24 missed tackles, nowhere to be found. This season, the Broncos came into this game with 4 sacks. 4. Now, that's not too bad. They leave this game with 4 sacks. 4 sacks? Oh, I mean, that's not too bad. The Broncos had 4 sacks in 3 games, and they had 2 games with no sacks. Their only sacks came against the Washington Commanders, who lead the league in sacks allowed with 19. The next closest is 6 sacks behind. The only team this team could get to, the quarterback on, is the worst offensive line so far this season when it comes to pass protection. The Broncos, in the clutch, offensively, flopped. Against the backups, they couldn't do anything. 71 net yards in the fourth quarter. Miami had 71 or more yards on 7 drives in this game. 7 drives. Denver leads the league in first downs by penalty with 12. 12. This team is undisciplined. This team is sloppy. This team is not good. In the words, 70 points. The Broncos lost to their former ball boy, and their former head coach, and their former defensive lineman. I don't think this team can be fixed this season. This team is one of the sloppiest teams I've ever seen. Over the course of the last 2 seasons, we have seen the Broncos field the worst offense in over 2 decades of football, and the worst defensive performance in nearly 60 years. Vance Joseph should be gone, don't get me wrong. But it's every part of this team that's broken. Many people would want to forget about this game, burn the tapes, but I do not want this team to forget about this game. I want this game playing on repeat on every TV, in every corner of every Broncos facility until they figure this out. All I can say is this better be rock bottom for this team, because if this isn't rock bottom, I don't know what could be. This team needs to fix their pass rush. They need to fix their interior defensive line. They need to fix safety help. I don't think Kareem Jackson has a future on this team. He needs to go. This might require trading a Patrick Surtain, trading a Justin Simmons. One of those guys that we love as Bronco fans is going to go for this team to turn around. Does it involve firing Vance Joseph? Maybe. Does it involve getting the first overall pick? Maybe. And we're going to have a lot of draft conversations about Caleb Williams and May and McCarthy and all those Ewers and all those college guys. We're going to dive into those guys because while Russell Wilson isn't the problem, he sure isn't the solution for this team. To those of us who have tied ourselves to this tire fire of a franchise right now, it's going to be a long ride, but there's nowhere to go but up, right? Right?